Therapeutics investors today really want completely de-risked assets. So why did we invest in Minutia? Well, I thought about it this morning as I stared at my iPhone, and I realized every element of the iPhone was already de-risked in other applications before Apple brought it together in a beautiful product that consumers love. That's why we invested in Minutia. The gold nanoparticle technology of Minutia has already been de-risked in head and neck cancers. Insulin, not a novel biological entity, no mechanism of action risk. The forearm site of injection, they have an ongoing human trial at UCSF for over 2 years. Now we look to the Minutia team to bring it all together into a beautiful functional cure for type 1 diabetes.
I'm Katie Digovich, a co-founder and the CEO of Minutia, and I am living with type 1 diabetes.
I'm Emily Coles. I'm the head of external communications at Minutia, and I'm living with type 1 diabetes.
I was diagnosed at the age of 6.
I was diagnosed at the age of 3.
The thing about living with type 1 diabetes is that you have to make 30 different decisions every single day. If you make one decision wrong, you end up in a life-threatening situation.
You don't ever get to take a break from it.
I am dependent on these devices to stay alive.
When blood sugar goes low, it can drop quickly, without warning, and you're in trouble right away.
At Minutia, we are working on a functional cure for insulin-dependent diabetes that we would also put in our own bodies. It's not news to us that there are several large biopharma companies in this space. In fact, some of those companies have gotten billion-dollar value inflection points by just dosing a small number of patients and having extremely early readouts. The reality is that all of the other solutions in the clinic today have critical constraints that stop them from being relevant to a large number of people living with type 1.
I'm trained as an endocrinologist with over 40 years of experience. I led different teams that developed 4 different FDA applications that were successful. In summary, why Minutia? It comes down to great technology, unmet need, a highly talented team that has the needed expertise.
We generate insulin-producing islet cells from human stem cells weekly at Minutia. Our proprietary protocol was developed in the lab of Matthias Hebrock at the Diabetes Center at UCSF. These insulin-producing cells can replace the cells that are lost in patients living with type 1 diabetes and can restore the ability to regulate blood sugar levels naturally. They can supply enough insulin to replace the need for insulin injections altogether. We also make very specific edits to our cells to prevent immune rejection post-transplantation.
We've hacked how to get these cells to survive in a minimally invasive transplant site. With our proprietary protocol, the cells can engraft and survive.
In fact, we have already de-risked our transplant site here in the forearm. We have a proof of concept PI-led trial going on at UCSF, multiple patients dosed, some of them more than 2 years out.
Our secret weapon is our gold nanoparticles, developed in the lab of Professor Tuan Vo Den at Duke University over the last 3 decades. Gold nanoparticles are already in the clinic for other use cases, but we are using them as a non-genetic kill switch if a safety concern ever arises.
The potential to use nanoparticles to deploy an embedded kill switch that could destroy cells that go rogue or raising concerns of malignancy. It's just a game changer.
Minutia has de-risked core elements of our technology and to date has raised $6.5 million on safes and more than $7 million in non-dilutive grant funding. Now, we are raising a round to conduct first-in-human studies in Australia for our full therapeutic program. Minutia is a next-generation cell therapy company. We are democratizing a functional cure for insulin-dependent diabetes.